Now let's talk about HTTP response status code. The status code indicates whether a specific HTTP request has been successfully completed. Responses are grouped into 5 classes. Informational responses, and they go from 100 to 199. Successful responses, 200 to 99. Redirection messages, 300 to 399. Client error responses, 400 to 499, and server error 500, 599. And in here you can see the list of codes. Basically between 100 and 199, there's only 3 in here. 200, 299, you can see 200, okay, and then accepted, non-authoritative information, no content, reset, found, for example, so 300. And here we're going to client requests. So probably you've seen this one, not found, which is very common, and I'll show you these in a second. And then you have 500, internal server error, service unavailable. So sometimes you've seen this one as well. These codes, they basically give you a reason why your request has succeeded or failed. In our API, you saw that if we basically say localhost 8080, we do get, have a look, there was an error, type not found, and then status 404. So what is 404? So if I go to the textbook and then check the codes, and then 404, so let me actually show you first. So 404, it's a client error response. So that's the category. And if we look into the actual code, it means not found. So 404, not found, which means that this request that I'm sending to our Spring Boot server is not found. We don't have anything mapped to the root path in here. So therefore 404. So it's a client error. So we basically tried to access something that doesn't exist. So not found. In contrast, if we say /greet, you can see here that, so if I put this a bit smaller, so you can see that now we actually get the request. Now, what I want you to do is, on your web browser, right click, go to inspect, and this will open up the development tool within Chrome or Safari or Firefox. Then what I want you to do is go to network. So click on in here. So basically my phone is too big, but you can see that we have network in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the request again. So reload. And this time you should see that we have in here, have a look, name, greet. If I click on greet in here and put this bigger, just like that. So if I put that bigger, and then if I go to headers, you can see that here we have a bunch of information about the request. And one of them is in here, 200. So 200 means that. So if I go to the textbook and have a look, 200 means okay. The request was okay. In here, if I try to send again to, let's say, by, and we know that there is nothing which maps by, enter, you can see that in here, have a look, status 404. So bear in mind these HTTP codes or the status codes, because they will tell you exactly what is happening. And sometimes when you are trying to send a request to the server and you get an error back, what you need to know is, okay, so I got an error back. What is the status code? And then from the status code, it will tell you what is the problem. Is there a problem with the client? Is there a problem with the server? Or is it something else? Right, let's take this example here. And let's say that we want to delete our picture from Instagram server, right? Now, if the application sends a delete request through that server, and let's say that for whatever reason, Instagram servers, they have so much load that they cannot cope with the request that I've sent. So in that case, the server will send back to the client a 500. meaning that it was a server error. Then obviously, so if I scroll down, you can see that here. So if in here, so you can see that it could be an internal server error, or maybe the service is unavailable, or is it timeout, or insufficient storage. It depends on what is exactly the root cause, but you will get one of these back to the client. On the other hand, let's say that now Instagram servers, they are all running, and let's say that we want to delete our picture. So we basically say, right, so I want to delete our picture, and this will go away from here as well, from the server, and then from the server. Now let's say that I want to delete the same picture. Well, if I try and delete the same picture, I will get an error, right? Because the picture is no longer present in the server. So the error that I will get back from Instagram server is, so if we look at 400s, right? Because this time is a client error, right? So I'm trying to delete something that doesn't exist. So therefore, I will get a not found status code back. Right, so hopefully this clarifies status codes, and you'll see a bunch of examples throughout this course, and you will familiarize yourself with the most important ones. If you have any questions, please do let me know as always.